Hey guys, welcome to digit.in. Today we're going to talk to you about the Fujifilm X-H1. Now Fuji has been very insistent on sticking with the APS-C format for its mirrorless cameras, while Sony is on full frame and the world keeps asking for full frame, but Fuji says no, APS-C is the way forward and they have the sensor to prove it. Today we're going to talk about this camera from Fuji, which is now a third in their flagship series. So let's talk about the X-H1. What is so different about it? You've got the X-T2, you've got the X Pro 2, and now the X-H1. So the X-H1 has the same X-Trans CMOS 3 sensor. It's 24 megapixel sensor. It's got a grip, but what's really different with this one is that the grip has a display on top. So that's visually different from the other two cameras in this range from Fuji. But what really sets this camera apart is the fact that it has, for the first time, in-body image stabilization. Now this has been one of the very frequently asked questions with Fuji, right? When are they going to give in-body image stabilization? And they've always kind of said they were working on it. They didn't have a definitive answer. There was also sometimes responses which said that it might not be possible, but here we are with the X-H1 that gives you in-body image stabilization. The advantage of that is that if you're somebody who's into film, you're going to benefit greatly because Fuji has amazing lenses. They're very sharp, and with in-body image stabilization, every lens is stabilized. And keeping that in mind, the Fujifilm X-H1 is also a video-centric camera, another first for Fuji. Up until now, they've been very focused on making their cameras photography-centric, but with this one, there's also significant focus on video. You get in-camera 4K, and also DCI color profile. You get F-Log, which is the flat color profile from Fuji, so you can grade it if you want. You'll see a sample in this video pop up of what F-Log looks like without the grading and with the grading. Lots of flexibility here, very good. So besides the video part, now let's come back to the photography aspect of it all. What do you expect from Fuji's flagship camera? You expect great focusing, of course, because that's what the X-T2 stands for. You get, or rather, you would expect amazing images. Now, Fuji has always been something that street photographers have loved. It's a very interesting camera system for its, homage to the old school rangefinders or the old school film cameras. But the X-H1 kind of stands apart from that. It's got a display on the grip. The dials are they're not as many as they used to be in the other two cameras. So that's there. So the looks have changed. But when it comes to imaging, everything is what you would expect. The image quality of the raw files, rather, straight out of the camera is absolutely amazing. There's about 2.5 stops worth of play that you get, in terms of, let's say, if you overexpose a shot and you need recovery, you get about 2.5 stops depending on how badly you've overexposed or underexposed for that matter. The focusing is also pretty damn good. There's 325 focusing points in here, which you can either set to zone or you can set to individual points, and then you can move them with the joystick on the back. And the tracking especially is phenomenal. It's the same level of performance you would have expected from the X-T2, which is a more sports-centric camera. So with the X-H1, you kind of get best of both the worlds. You get the imaging quality, of course, of what you've come to expect of the X Pro 2 or even the X-T2, but you also get the speed and the performance of the X-T2 all baked into one camera. What you may not like, besides the sound of drilling, what you may not like, and personally I was not very fond of, was actually the display on the grip. There's actually not a whole lot of new information you're getting on this display that you don't get at the back or through the viewfinder. So kind of redundant, but I can see why some people would want it. It has its utility for some, and it's information that's visible right there. You don't really have to move your eye, look somewhere else to get that information, so it's all right. But I would have personally preferred another dial for, let's say, exposure compensation or something else that they could have put up there that is now not, because there's a display. So that's the quick review for the Fujifilm X-H1.